Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Friday to you all. There was a video, or an article, I should say, that came out yesterday as of the time of recording this video. It is today, October 15th, titled, "These Airlines Are Most at Risk of COVID-19 Related Default." And I've read through it. Airlines are something that I am passionate about on this channel. They are stocks that I am currently invested in, along with some other travel-related stocks. And I thought this article was very interesting. I wanted to share it all with you guys today, and hopefully you guys enjoy some of the things you hear, and you can learn something from an article. I will also link this in the comments or in the description below. And if at any point during this video you do like something you hear, go ahead and smash the like button and subscribe to the channel as we continue our climb to 1,000 subscribers. So let's get right into it. These airlines are most at risk of COVID-19 related default. And I think some of these will surprise you because a lot of them are big name, if not all of them are big name airlines. The latest stress tests on U.S. airlines shows 5 of the largest carriers. And here are the 5. American Airlines, United Airlines, Delta Airlines, Southwest, and JetBlue will be at high risk of default by the end of the year as the coronavirus pandemic decimates their industry. You look at some of these names: American Airlines, United Airlines, Delta Airlines, Southwest, JetBlue. If I would venture to guess that 85% of the people who are watching this video who have flown have been on one of these. That's how big some of these are. Delta's massive, United's massive, American's massive, Southwest is massive, and JetBlue was on the up and up in terms of some of these things. I mean, there's some other ones that I don't even really know which other ones I would add to this list. We could potentially check the related section. I know there's Spirit Airlines. I don't even know if they're publicly traded. That's kind of a lower end. They don't even have any other ones that aren't already on there. So, these are massive airlines. These are big name airlines. The airlines can't recover independently. The future of the airlines is linked to factors out of their control. And this is the big problem. I mean, they can position themselves decently to survive as long as they can. But it's a matter of, they're really running against the clock here. It's coming down to the wire to some extent, especially for a couple more than others. So the CEO, James Galvert, for Rapid Ratings conducts risk assessments and stress tests for major global firms like McDonald's and Unilever to determine if a company can withstand financial shocks like the COVID-19 crisis. A key score in the financial health rating, or FHR, which measures a company's likelihood of default using factors like liquidity and earnings performance to determine a firm's sustainability. Gellert, something like that, says over the last 20 years, 90% of companies that have failed have been rated 40 and below. And the results of Rapid Ratings' most recent year-end stress test sound an ominous warning for airlines. And then, this isn't something that is necessarily, shocking to anybody. We know this is an industry that has just been slammed by the virus situation, and obviously it's something that hopefully they can recover from. The stock price is going to take a little while to recover from, but if you look at something like Delta, their projected 1 year from now is $39. They're currently right around $30 per share, $31 per share. So I mean, there is potential. I think some of these airlines will be perfectly fine. I think it is a scary situation currently, but I think big names like Delta and United and probably even Southwest and I guess we could throw American Airlines in there, but they have American rated very, very low. All the major airlines in the United States are falling well into the 40 and below area, with American falling the most to 16. So America's at a crazy low point according to this rating, and these are all projected. Here's their most recent one. If you look, Delta's just below 40, JetBlue's above it, and Southwest is well above it, but obviously they fall way down below. And American Airlines has been slacking in terms of just never fully recovering from anything here, and these have kind of been stagnated throughout. Rapid Ratings year-end stress tests show 5 of the U.S. largest So we have the 5 here: Southwest, JetBlue, Delta, United, and American. So it doesn't mean a company will absolutely fail. He said there are a lot of things that go into the decision to file for bankruptcy or being forced into bankruptcy. But companies in this sector, in this risk zone, are very high risk, and all institutional investors and other companies that work with them and them buying and selling them need to pay really close attention. And this is a big thing. If you are thinking about buying some stock in these, yes, they are good at good buying points. Yes, you may never see these prices again, but there is massive risk that comes with it. But it's a really, the stock market as a whole is a risk and reward game. It always has been and always will be. The higher the risk, usually the higher the reward. That's what it should be. I think some of these companies, my favorite of them is Delta. But again, this is just my personal opinion. Don't take it my word as law. Obviously, I think these companies will be okay, but there is the major risk attached to them. Delta and United reported third quarter earnings this week, and CEOs from both carriers said the spring of 2021 will be a crucial turning point. I think that's the truth for not just airlines, but the entire country or the entire world as a whole in terms of figuring out the situation, figuring out what the future is going to look like. Even though the negative impact of COVID-19 will persist in the near term, we are now focused on positioning the airline for a strong recovery that will allow United to bring our furloughed employees back to work and emerge as the global leader in aviation, United CEO Scott Kirby told investors. And then Delta CEO Ed Bastian says his airline is on the road to recovery, which is, you love to see that. Bastian predicts Delta will cash burn neutral by next spring. Obviously right now they're just burning cash, trying to stay afloat. We have been encouraged as more customers travel, and we are seeing a path of progressive improvement in our revenues, financial results, and daily cash burn, which fell to $24 million the last quarter. $24 million. He says deep liquidity will be the key to each airline's survival. Liquidity buys time. Time is essential, and if you run out of time, you don't make it. And essentially, if you don't know what liquidity is, it's just how quickly you could, if you have assets that are either cash or some other things, whether they're investments or whatever they may be, if you have high liquidity, means you can quickly turn those things into cash if they aren't already, which means obviously, you need cash to survive as a company. So the more liquidity you have, the better in this situation. During the past 6 months, all of the airlines leverage assets like airplanes and their lucrative frequent flyer programs to bolster liquidity. They each borrowed billions of dollars and added billions more to their debt. I posted a video several months ago. This might have been in March, maybe a little later after that, about the situation of them getting some loans from the government. Great video. Didn't get a lot of exposure, so if you guys want to go back to that video and watch that, also very related to this, the whole industry as a whole, despite being posted so long ago. Delta reported it had $21.6 billion in liquidity. United said it had around $20 billion. A recent note from Raymond James analyst, Mr. Scythe, one or the other, said American Airlines has around $13 billion in liquidity and Southwest has around $15 billion. American and Southwest report their earnings October 22nd, which is a week from today. As of the time of this recording, it is Thursday, October 15th, and are expected to update their financials. But Gellert says even with billions in liquidity, the airlines need passenger traffic to come back or they face a grim future. It is a waiting game as to whether the recovery in traffic comes before liquidity runs out, he said. So, really powerful article here, especially if you're involved in some of these airline stocks. It's or any travel stocks related, or any stocks related to travel. It's just a really tough situation. Do I think that, they're going to default this year, potentially, probably not. I think if there's are rises in cases, we could potentially see a little bit of a downtick in the number of people traveling again. But, people travel during the holiday season, so we could see it go up. I think once you reach spring, it starts getting really interesting, like the article said. And then once you reach next summer, if it's still not any better, once again, you could probably see some of these companies start to default. And, obviously we don't want to see that, especially if you're currently invested in them. So I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below on what you think about airlines right now. I know Jeremy over at Financial Education just posted a video about airlines and whether or not they're a good buy. That's probably a good video to check out as well. I think it's really interesting, the timing of that video. That video came out yesterday. This article came out today. So I think there are various opinions across the board on the airline stocks. Whether it's Warren Buffett selling some of his, he still owns quite a few shares, or whether it's people being positive about him. And I've seen a lot of people being positive. I've seen a lot of people being negative. So I'd love to hear from you guys in the comment section below on what your thoughts are on the airline stocks and whether you're currently invested in them or potentially buying more. Those are all great things that I'd love to see. If you haven't already, go ahead and smash the like button if at any point you did enjoy something you heard in this video, and subscribe to the channel as we continue our climb to 1,000 subscribers. I really appreciate everything you guys have done for me this week as we crossed over that 250 subscriber mark, and we'll continue our climb next week. Hopefully everyone has a great weekend, and until next time, happy investing.